Okay, to begin with, this is the project workday, but I got a lot of questions, so I last hour, and I got an idea of where I can help you to understand what to do. So first off, this is the TVM solver, and we are pretty much not going to be using it very much. You can do almost everything you need to for this project on the other kind. So everybody hit your Y equals button and go in there. Now I'm going to tell you some info I want you to put in. It's going to be a 7% interest rate compounded monthly. Is that what it is for your project? Pretty much not. Because you're going to use exact numbers that you get off the internet. So let's say that you're doing a car loan. If you can't think of anything else, just be an engineer who's buying a car, okay? I'm just saying, I want this to make this cool for you, but some kids are agonizing too much over what career should I have and how much do they make, and okay? So just once you get your amount that you can spend based on your engineering, let's say I'll use these numbers. You make $100,000, which wouldn't be an engineer, at least not a starting salary, but later in their career probably. And then, can you spend all 100 grand on this thing? No, you have to live and eat and buy a house and all that kind of stuff. This is not a house. Don't be buying a house unless you are saying that you're super rich, because you're only allowed to spend 15% of your monthly income. Well, first of all, to find a monthly income, you divide by 12. Everybody take your calculator and figure out how much that is. Because that's the most you're going to earn per month. And that's with a $100,000 income. A lot of you will not make $100,000. If you're first year whatever, you're a lot of times making $30,000 or $40,000. But we don't have to assume that you are a first year. I don't think it says that anywhere in your stuff that you're assuming a first year salary. You can assume like an average salary of that. All right, did you get $8,333.33? Raise your hand if you had that. Good. Can you spend all of that? What percent of that can you spend? 15. So go ahead, times that by 0.15, and what do we get? 1250. That is how much you can spend per month. When it asks you to save, what's the most you could save? 1,250. When it asks you and you want to pay off your loan, can you pay it off early? Sure, you can pay it off early. You can make bigger payments, but can you make it bigger than 1,250? No, that's the most you can spend. Now, one more thing. Kids seem to think you have to spend that much per month. No, you don't have to. You can. But if you want to say, I want a little margin for like having some fun money, I don't want to spend all my money on this toy I'm buying, or this car, or this jet ski, or whatever. You don't have to spend, but this is the max you can spend. All right. Next, let's go back to that little calculator problem here. We're going to have 7% interest for this car we're going to buy, and it's going to be a $20,000 car. And again, I want you to look one up. I want you to actually look up a car that you might be interested in. Just don't fall in love with a car that's $100,000 and then not be able to afford it. You know what I mean? Make sure you can actually afford this car. Because that's one of the hardest things is kids can't make their numbers work out because, like, I can't get my payments to work. It's because you're buying something too big. All right. So then my scenario here has us spending $600 a month on this car. Now, I did not pick that amount to make it fit perfectly into like 5-year loan. If you want to do that, you can, but you'd use the TVM solver to figure out exactly what payments should I do to make it a 5-year loan. That is not required in this project. Okay? But you get so far, I have a $600 payment on a $20,000 loan. As I go to the table then, everybody go to your table settings to make sure you aren't in some weird place. I'm going to go to the 36th line of my table because I happen to know that's in the neighborhood of where it gets paid off. Do you see this on your calculator now? Now, I was asked 8 million times approximately last hour, what does this mean again? So I'm going to remind you. You had spent 38 payments. Did I spend my max? No. What was my max? 1250. What did I spend? 600. So I'm fine. I'm within my max. I spent 38 payments of $600, and that gives me some number. Would you please quick crank out what 38 times 600 is? 22,800. Okay. The next confusion came on this. Kids went, so that's how much I spent. No, that's not what you spent. It's kind of what you spent, but what's this other number here? This number that's highlighted right here, this $494.90 thing. That's how much they owe you back. So did you really spend $22,800? No, because they're going to give you that back. So subtract off $494. Then that's how much you spent. That's what you do again. You times it by how many payments you have, subtract off how much they're giving you back. This is how much you really spent then. 22,000, what is it? What? 305. 305? Yeah. 306? Thank you. Then that's what you really spent. And the next question I always get is, so how much interest was there? What do you do then? Subtract what you actually borrowed. How much did we borrow? 20,000. So the net is about $2,306, and that's the interest. Okay. So you have to subtract off your original loan amount to see that. All right, then the other thing that we didn't do very much was an saving up for kind of problem. Saving up for a $20,000 car. Now that's where the TVM solver could help you, but it doesn't do all of the work. Everybody go into the apps, finance, TVM solver. If I want to save up 20,000, then this is basically what the setup would look like. Remember, we're only going to let you have 3% interest so that you aren't unrealistic about, I'm going to earn tons of money in the stock market. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. We're going to use 3. Present value, please don't start with any money. Another thing kids made up is like, I want to make up that I start with $5,000 down payment. You don't have $5,000. You're starting with 0. Keeps the math simpler. All right? You're going to save up all of it. How much are my payments? With this negative 1,000, is that possible with how much money I am making? Yeah, I could pay that. I could even save more. Could I save up to $1,250? Sure, that's fine. If the kid saves $1,300 a month, I'm marking off points because they didn't get their max was $1,250. Okay, so if I do 1,000, is it okay? Sure, you can save less than your max. Just don't go over it. The future value is 20,000. This is all set up correctly, and remember, payment goes at the end. Now, when I'm done, I'm going to go solve at the top and go alpha solve, and that says 19.54 payments. Then I can figure out from that how much total did I spend. Could I have done this with the other system? Yes, I could have done it with the other system. Let's do that quick. Everybody go back here. If I do it under this system, how much do I start with? Do I start with $20,000? No, so I got to go down here and put 0. I start with 0. How much interest do I earn? 7%? Nope. What did I say we were allowed to say? 3%. And then how much did I want to save every month? Notice this is plus then, because this is an investment, 1,000. Now, will this tell me, yeah, but kids could look at their table and they were like lost on what it means. Go look at your table. My table's got these numbers and they're going up. That's a good thing. It's you're saving money, right? So where are you in the table? Well, you probably are going to save until you hit how much? 20,000. Okay, so I'm going to keep backing up here until I find where it goes to 20. All right, there it is. I hit it on the nose. Woo. Weird. On this one, did I have enough? No, I didn't have enough. So I'd have to do 20 payments. Now, here's another question kids got confused on. So how come I have more money here than my 20 payments of $1,000? Because you earned interest. To me, this is a lot easier than the TVM solver to see the situation, because you can see how much was interest and stuff. Okay, I can tell that I made 20 payments of $1,000 is $20,000, so 482. Oh, that's easy. That's my interest. That's how much I earned in interest. Okay, so there's a typical scenario where you had a person who was making 100 grand, bought a $20,000 car, and I did the whole thing pretty much right there. Now you can't use those numbers. Okay, you have to figure out your own income. your own max you can spend per month. Find a car for real. And as you're finding these things, would you just take a quick screenshot? Because if I ask you for proof that you could really get that loan amount, some kids had some pretty low loan numbers. Well, if you can show me a screenshot that says that at ABC Bank they're giving you 2.3% interest, okay, I'll buy it. I don't need to know for sure that you would qualify and all that. Just show me a screenshot of these prices. One more thing, I am okay with you rounding the cost of your car. If you want to say that if the car is $19,999, to get it, how it'd be a lot nicer if you used $20,000. I'm okay with you doing that if you want to round the price of the car a little bit to make it a nice round number. It'll make all your numbers easier to calculate later. It's an option. You can do that. All right. So once you find your car, though, I want to actually screenshot. This is what the car would look like. It doesn't have to be a car, jet ski, boat, whatever thing it is, super cool electric bike, whatever. House, the morning, the people that had the houses were asking me the most questions because they're more complicated, because they're much bigger and you have to earn so much more money, and let's try to keep this to a smaller thing. All right. Any other questions that you have? So wait, don't move yet. I'll tell you to move in a sec. So the rest of this time is work time. You're going to have a lot of questions where, you're coming up and checking on things. What if you're all done? Well, then the last part of the project it's just a little presentation thing where you basically say, here's how much I would have saved if I had saved up for the car, but here's some reasons why I might not have saved up for the car. Anyway, that presentation thing, it just doesn't have to be glorious. You can either present it in class, or it can be something that you could have as a video that I could just hit play and watch your little presentation. And how about the math part? That's going to be entered into a Google form. Please don't enter it until you're totally done and you feel confident that all your numbers written on that little worksheet are working and they make sense. Then there's a link under Schoology that says that you put your info in there. And that's where you're going to tell me, here's how much my car cost. Here's how much interest I paid. Here's how much total I paid. All these little blanks that you have to, basically it's the stuff from your worksheet, goes into the Google form, and you hit submit, and then I grade it. Okay, so don't enter it until you're ready to have it graded. You're confident you got good numbers. All right, last thing I want to tell you is just some perspective things. We did one a second ago. And kids have a hard time, I get this, with is this too much or too little? If you are borrowing like $100,000 and you're making payments and you pick the payment and it's like $700, that's not a big enough payment to pay off something that's $100,000. Do you get how their loan wasn't dropping? It was like, why isn't my loan dropping? And you aren't making big enough payments. Okay, so that's the number one thing I had people ask about is why isn't mine working? And almost a lot of the time, it's because they weren't making a big enough payment or they had something wrong with their formulas, which we just practiced. So I hope that'll do it. All right, so now you have the rest of the time to work. If you have questions, please come on up and ask.